Sisters with a Y, Episode 8.
Hi guys.
Hello.
So today we have a special guest.
Our first guest ever.
Yes. We have our close friend, Ashley Suplee here. Say hi.
Hi.
And first I'll explain that we don't call her Ashley. We do call her by her last name. We have another friend, another close friend of ours. Her name is also Ashley. So we do, this Ashley goes by Suplee to us. So you will hear us call her Suplee.
Yes.
And we will be talking about the struggles of being single.
Yes.
So we should start off with saying Suplee is single, and we'll give all her information.
And we'll post a picture.
Yeah.
We'll take it. We'll choose for her.
Oh, God.
Well, first we want her to describe herself. We want to tell us a little bit more about herself.
Yes, tell us about you.
Okay, so I'm Ashley, or Suplee. I'm 29. I'm an optometrist. I come from a pretty nuclear family. I have a mom and dad. I have a identical twin sister, and we have a younger sister and a dog named Milo, and he's adorable.
I do want to bring up that she does have a pretty set life. She has her career
Her house.
going. Yes, she owns her own home. She has not only her career, but a very stable job. So she's definitely a catch. So I think that's one of the things that we want to touch on, why it's so difficult nowadays for people that should have no problem, finding a significant other. But I'll start off with the question. Did you tell us your age?
29.
Yeah, 29. Your age, you probably get it a lot. I remember when my son first went away to college, and he was super young. He was probably 22, and he'd come home, and everyone would always ask him, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? And it's kind of like, why are you even asking that if you're so young? So I can just imagine at your age, everyone is probably asking, do you have a boyfriend? Are you seeing anyone?
All the time.
Blah, blah, blah. So besides that question, what's the question you hate the most?
Probably the question I hate the most is like when I get together with friends I may have not seen in too long is, have you been on any dates lately? Because if you haven't, then you kind of feel like, oh, should I have been on dates?
Or should I be keeping track?
Yeah, exactly. And that's true too.
Because how do you answer that? If you have been on dates, you say yes 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yes every day last week, but
Slow.
Yeah, exactly. Like it could go either way, and that's kind of the main question that I really hate. I mean, besides the normal, do you have a boyfriend, or why don't you have a boyfriend?
Yes.
The main question I think I hate the most is, have you been on any dates lately? Because that just kind of, you could go either way. Like, have you been on too many, or no, it's not going well for
What
you.
is the norm?
Okay.
Like how many dates
Exactly.
Should you have been on? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. You kind of feel like, what should be my answer?
I think a lot of it too is, do you feel, because I think I would feel that way, or even I would always feel that for John, where I feel like, are they implying that you are not trying hard enough?
Yeah, no, I totally, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from that question. And it's probably a totally generic, easy question, like, hey, what's been going on in your life? But that's not how I take it, and probably just because, I'm 29 and single, and that's the first thing you think. You're like, oh, maybe I'm not trying harder, oh, no, it hasn't happened.
So I won't ask when your last date was. But
it might have been yesterday. He's like, yesterday? This morning?
Coffee date this morning. Yeah.
But when was your last relationship?
My last, actual relationship, probably high school or early college. Probably high school. I've dated a bunch, but it wasn't that I get really bored, super quick. So nothing really lasted, long enough for me to be like, yeah, this is going to be cool for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
How about your friends, I'm thinking, are around your same age?
Yes.
Are they dating? Are they single?
Yeah.
Are they married?
I would say most of my friends are either dating or married. My best friend is married. A couple of my other really, really good friends are all married, or at least in long-term relationships.
Okay. And how does that affect you? Do you think it does?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, because it's kind of hard, then my friends will be like, hey, let's go get dinner, and it's a couple of groups of couples, and then there's me, and I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
We've
I'm
done
pretty,
it to her.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I totally have. And I feel like I'm pretty fun, so I don't think, and no one makes me feel awkward.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah, no one puts that on me, but in my head, I'm kind of like, yep,
Mhm.
another fifth wheel.
I think this is the age, and probably it probably starts maybe 26, 27, and I don't know, I didn't have a lot of friends when I was younger, but I hear now I have a lot of younger friends, so I hear you guys talk about it all the time, where I feel like friends are constantly getting married. It's either friends are getting married or friends are having babies.
Yes.
And I think that's probably, and I think it just naturally happens that way.
I mean, we're at that age.
Yeah, so it just kind of, it's that age where it starts happening. Is that maybe why we get to this point at late 20s, early 30s, where it becomes more of an issue?
And I feel like more people are single now, though. I feel like the people that I know or that, that I observe that are around that age are single. Because I feel like now it's more normal to stay single till a later age.
I think it is, and because it's getting more okay to have kids at an older age.
Yes.
Than it was when we were younger.
Yeah, because I was considered old, super old, for having a kid at 30. So.
Yes.
I think it's becoming more normal to be single later, but I still think, at least from maybe our parents' generation, where they're kind of like, oh, hey, when's this going to happen, And so I think, yes, it's maybe more normal, but I still think overall, it's at this time they're starting to question, like, what's happening?
And actually, now that you mention your parents, do you feel that it's coming from your parents as well? Do you think your parents ask you?
So, no, my parents don't ask me that often, actually, and I'm kind of surprised. My mom really wants grandkids. Like, she's dying for that.
Oh, okay.
So every once in a while, she'll ask you, like, like, hey, what's going on? But I don't feel like it's as much pressure from them as maybe, like cousins or aunts and uncles and grandparents and things like that.
Yeah, I think grandparents are probably a little worse. I made it a thing. I made sure that I told myself I will not ask my son anymore. And then he was he's really young. My son's 25. And so I just kind of put it out there and said, when you have someone, tell me. And then we kind of made this rule that he would tell me once he was, seeing someone seriously. But yeah, I figured the last person he wants to hear that question from is his mom. So then I just kind of stopped asking and just kind of let him come to me. But yeah, I guess we should ask that too. Do you want to have kids?
I don't know. Some people grow up and they're like, I'm going to have kids. I know I want to be a mom. I never felt that way. A lot of my friends have babies and it's adorable and I want to hold them all the time. But then I don't get that baby fever. I give them back. I don't get that baby fever too much. How I feel right now is if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'd be totally okay.
And you have an age limit, though?
No, I don't know if I have an age limit. I never thought. It's actually kind of funny because when we were younger, my mom was 30 when we were born, and we always said, "Oh, you're the old mom. We're never gonna be that old when we have kids." And now, I'll be 30 this year, and I'm like, "Oh my god, guys, I'm gonna be way older. I'm sorry, mom." And I take back everything I said.
But how about your twin? Does she feel the same way too?
No, she wants kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as far as I know, she still wants kids, but she doesn't. I don't think have an age limit either. She's kind of like
when it happens.
Yeah.
And so then with your twin, because she knows she wants kids, like, do you think it's easier for somebody that doesn't want kids to be single and not feel so pressured?
Maybe. Yeah, actually, I never thought of it that way. But there's some pressure on it, but I don't feel like, I have to get married this year. I have to do this because I have to have the kids thing. Yeah, you're probably right. I never thought about it that way.
I have also heard, and I'm sure you guys have as well, like, I have heard people say, well, I do want to have kids. And so I do need to be married. I do need to have my life, put together by a certain age because I want to have babies.
And if you want it in that order, because I always knew I wanted a kid by 30 because... To me, it was just the perfect age. So, but I never thought I need to get married.
Yeah.
To me, it was just, I'm going to have a kid by 30. Whether I'm married, whether I'm not, I'm going to have a kid. It was just my want. But do you feel that you need to go in order?
For me, yes. If it's going to happen, have the kids thing, I would want to be married first.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's just a me thing.
Yeah. I think I would have to say that's probably the abnormal one.
No, I think a lot of people are having kids.
It happens to us not in order because I didn't do it in order, but it's not by choice.
I think it would have been by choice. And I've had people be like 45, 46, and they didn't find the perfect person. They didn't find their partner. They didn't get married. married, and they will even go and do artificial insemination to have a baby because their priority is I want to have a child.
And I think that's the difference. I don't and I don't know the struggle because at the end of the day, I was married at 28, you know, and we had a baby a few months after our wedding, you know, so it's I maybe don't know the struggle, but the other thing too, and I because I never felt that way. I never felt like, oh my gosh, I need to be married by a certain time or I need this by a certain time. But I also did not want to have kids.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to my daughter if she's listening, but no, yes, I didn't want to have
and you didn't go through that because you were actually a mother at a young age. So you were already a mother.
And maybe that's why too. Yes, I already had John.
You got married at 28. Checked.
Yeah.
Regardless, everything was done before you were 29. I wasn't pregnant or married by 29.
So I didn't have that feeling that I'm sure. Sana and I have talked about this before, how, you know, people have hormonal babies.
My daughter.
Her daughter is a hormonal baby, and my dog is definitely my hormonal baby.
And it's just that you're hitting that. My daughter, I think I'm 36. That's it. I have to decide right now whether I have another child to give to my son, a sibling, or not. And for some reason, it's this weird feeling of just literally a month. I could have got over it.
I should have waited it out.
Yeah, I should have waited it out. But no, I love her. But it was just kind of like, I need to have a baby. And it was kind of like, it was done intentionally. So then, I had a baby and then that's it. I tied my tubes. I don't want these hormones sneaking up on me once again.
And I think now I always feel like that's not something young girls should worry about anymore.
They shouldn't.
Because you see this all the time. How many famous people have we seen that are having babies that are at an older age? How many people we know are having babies at an older age?
Very
you know,
true.
if I really wanted to, I'm not. But if I really wanted to, I can have a baby right now. Let's not do it. You know, but Suplee says it might happen, but let's not do it. You know,
1 in 100.
I'm really good at knowing when people are fine.
but you know, I feel like it's getting easier. But maybe
I think to become a mother, yes.
Maybe not. Maybe, but to the whoever's feeling this urge, maybe to them it's not.
No, probably not.
You know, maybe it isn't. Do we feel, or Suplee, do you feel that it's easier for men because they don't have that worry? So do you feel it's easier for them to be single?
Maybe yes and no. Yes, but because they don't have that worry of having to have it at a certain time. But at the same time, I know some people that really want to be dads.
And they don't want to do it at an older age.
Exactly, yeah. Because they want to be young and playing with their kids when they still can. So I think that also could make it hard. And so, I think it just depends on their specific situation too.
And then your purpose on dating, because you said you don't really know if you want kids or not. Your purpose for dating is not kids. So... But do you still feel that there's a pressure because of your age that you should be in a relationship?
Yeah, I think so because everyone around you kind of is, and you're getting closer to that next major milestone birthday, and I think there's still a pressure, even though I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't date for the intention of one day having kids, but it's still companionship and not wanting to be
And 2 questions: do you want to be in a relationship?
Yes, I do. I know that. I paused because I think about it sometimes. You're kind of like sitting at home watching TV by yourself. You're like, this is kind of nice.
Oh, it probably is. It probably is.
Like you can do whatever you want and not care and watch whatever you want on TV. But then at the same time, you're like, oh well, having someone sitting with you and that companionship would be nice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And do you want to get married?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do want to get married. Like I said, the kids thing, maybe not, but married, yes.
Okay. Because I think that was one of my things. I think people don't believe it because of just how what my personality was like when I was younger. But I always wanted to get married. I knew that I didn't want to have any more kids after I knew that at a very young age. By the time I was 17, I knew I didn't want to have any more kids. But I did. And yes, I love her. She's great, blah, blah, blah. But I always knew I wanted to get married. And I think that always kind of shocked people, but I did. I don't really know why, because now that you being able to watch whatever you want, that sounds real.
Well, if you find the right person, you could watch whatever you want. Always, you have the control. Literally, the control. Hold the control. You can watch whatever you want.
Okay, so do you feel, and we should also mention really quick, a reminder that Sana is single.
Yes.
We'll post her picture too.
I'm not looking for the wrong person.
No one's looking for the wrong person.
Yes, so there was a long time I was.
Oh, fair.
So Sana, so really quick, how long have you been single?
It's gonna be 2 years.
Okay,
It's
and
gonna.
I think she kinda made it a little clear that she does not want to get married.
No, I don't ever.
But do you?
I never did. I have an ex-husband, but
And
I
do
never
you
wanted
want to
to.
be in a relationship?
it depends. It depends what that word entitles. Like, yeah,
Okay.
no. I want to see someone for breakfast 3 times a week.
So if you're out there, breakfast eater,
If you-
that only eats breakfast 3 times a week.
If you drink coffee,
That could work really well.
if you can like sit there and conversate and talk about something interesting, I'm willing to do it.
Okay.
But I'm not looking for a partner. Not
Okay.
a
So then this is a good question for both of you. Suplee, I'll ask you first. Do you think it gets harder as you get older?
Yes, I think it does, because I would think back to college, when you're around so many more people,
Mm-hmm.
and so the chances of meeting people or going on dates was a little bit easier, because it was just by chance you're in classes with thousands of other people.
Yeah.
And then I went to grad school, same thing, we still had classes with a bunch of people, felt like it was an easier situation. Now you work,
Mm-hmm.
gym, grocery stores, it's just not as many chance encounters as like when you were younger.
And at work, it's a little hard too, because you are a doctor-patient relationship. That would be really weird.
I'm not about that, yeah.
Sometimes they say, well, you meet people at work. Yeah, how are you going to be like, hey, you're my patient. Are you married?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like
it would be a little weird.
I agree too. I have this kind of rule for myself that unless I met you outside the office, it wouldn't really work if that's how I met you. And that's just a personal rule, just that I feel like crosses a little bit of a boundary.
Yeah.
Okay. And Sana, do you think it gets harder as you get older?
Definitely. My age.
And then we
yes,
should
I'm
probably
42.
mention, that's it.
I'm 42, and any guy who's between, because I'll go to 35. Any guy from 35 to 50, which is my limit, is still married with the woman they think they should be married to,
Because they haven't met you.
They haven't
Oh.
met me. But so they're either still married, so no, I'm like, gonna date a married man, and then
Yet.
No,
No,
no, don't send me letters or anything. But then, or they're getting divorced and they're dating someone. They're dating younger people. So I think it's hard for that age bracket, to find a single guy. And then in my days when I was younger, you would go to the market and someone would come up to you and be like, "Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
Give me your number." Or they would, follow you to the car, which that would be scary. Don't follow me to the car.
Also my problem. I think I'm gonna get murdered every day. So.
But then I can't imagine now, because I've never heard of anyone tell me, you know what, I met someone at the grocery store.
Because it's so social media
Yes, so everything's done
influence
online.
and online dating.
Yes.
So it is very different. Do you guys think it's our fault? Have we done this? We know when we allowed online dating into not our, but your generation, then
Not mine.
Did we then ruin the
But you guys were
the
also more busy.
possibility? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That possibility of love at first sight.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
That ruined it a little bit, but then at the same time, it became so convenient with being busier. Exactly, more compared to let's say for our parents' age, they worked right out of high school. Some went to college, but not as much. Now all of us went to college. All of us got jobs.
And
We
you're
were
working.
a lot busier than back then. So I would say it probably ruined it, but how else was it going to happen? I think it was just a natural progression. Online dating was going to happen.
And
it was
people
also
have
brilliant of them. Our younger sister, I don't think this is something bad to say. Our younger sister is, and she's not that much younger than us. So she's not from that younger generation, and she met her husband on a dating app or dating, what do they call, dating website, dating app. Yeah.
But I think that's how it is done nowadays. I think you have to go through these apps because I don't know. I feel like guys are not just walking around checking you out. I don't even think that they're.
But then have we made them lazy? And not. I know this sounds super sexist, but then have we made them lazy? Have we said, hey guys, you don't have to try anymore because now you can just go shopping online?
No, because I think we're doing the same thing. I think we're going shopping online too. And also a lot of women, we went through the phase of, hey women, you can go up to a guy and be like, hey, what's up? You know, give me your number.
But it doesn't happen.
Still doesn't.
My friends, all of my close friends are at least 10 years younger than me.
Never have asked the guy out?
Well, we go out. We still, like Sana has told you guys before, I still go out, to places that I probably shouldn't be at my age group.
If you see an old lady at the club,
that's me. And I'm out with younger girls, pretty much all single. Now here and there, a few have significant others, but it's so different than when you and I used to go outside. And it's like it's completely different.
Do they ask you to dance?
Rarely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Rarely. It's just.
And no, I can't say I've ever asked somebody either.
No, you haven't. None of the girls have.
On both ends, I can't blame the guys either. On both ends, I haven't. They haven't. I think you just kind of stick to what you know.
Yeah. So maybe both. We've done it for both men and women, where it's almost that's gone. That's gone because everybody wants. We're in an era where everybody wants everything easier. Yeah. Everything needs to be easier, quicker,
more convenient.
Yes. And you want to get what you want. Yeah. So also, I feel like maybe this has made everybody's expectations a little higher.
I think everybody has really high expectations. And you should have standards.
And do you feel, Suplee, that as you get older, you get, I hate to use this word, but you get pickier?
Yes. No, I'll totally own up to that. I think so because I know where I am in my life and where I've worked really hard to be, and I don't want to settle just because I need to be in a relationship or I need to have kids. I don't, but that's what some people might think. And for sure, I've gotten way pickier. Also, probably because the other things haven't worked out in the past where I'm like, well, we're not doing that again. So I think I have gotten pickier. Just, like I said, I know where I am in my life and I'm not going to settle because I've worked really hard to get here. And why settle at this point just to be with someone?
Yeah. And once you jump 10 years later, Sana, and you have been in a relationship, 10 years after Suplee's age. And you've now been in relationships. Do you feel that you get less picky or more picky?
I think because I feel that I did settle because it was just like, I don't want to be alone. I do want a baby and he's here. Might as well marry him. Why not? So let's do this, right? But I feel that I did settle. So I think my only picky thing, not physically, I don't think I'm like, he needs to be taller than me, but it's not hard. So he needs to be tall, but I don't have any, I'm not picky physically. All I want is to be in a good relationship because I wouldn't settle for not someone that has chemistry with me. Someone that you could sit and watch a same show and enjoy it and laugh and talk and everybody enjoy themselves. Not where you're like, I'm this type of way and the other person hates what you see and they're completely different. And then you are just settling. You're just living a life of, this is all I got.
Yeah.
And I feel that there's always going to be some differences. And I mean, I've told Suplee this. I've told most of my single friends this. I'm a true believer that everybody settles. That if somebody tells you that they did not settle, they're lying to you. We all settle in different ways. And I think that's the main thing that I would love young people to remember. It's okay to settle, but know your priorities. Know what you're okay on settling with. I always say I really wanted to marry somebody that was really tall and, maybe kind of muscular. And now I'm going to go somewhere else because I'm picturing something. But and my husband's not the tallest and he's not the most muscular. And that's okay. I did settle in that way. And there's also plenty of other things. My husband is very quiet in comparison to me being, not so quiet. And I did have to settle on that. He's not much of a person. He's not really a person that's going to come and say, let's sit down and let's chit chat. And I would really like that. And he's not that way. And I did settle in that way as well. But there was things that were really important to me. And one of the things was, you know, for me to be on the same page with that person. We needed to be on the same page on what we wanted for our future, what we wanted for our daughter's future, you know, what we wanted financially. You know, my husband is one of the best providers I know. He does, that's one of his priorities, and that was a big deal to me. And if it's not a big deal to you, then that's okay. That's okay.
And I think at my age, I don't have kids to raise. I'm raising my kids. So I don't need someone to come in and help me raise my kids. So at this point, I can't settle for a non-talker. Like I was married to 2 non-talkers. Well, one that didn't talk to me, he talked to other people, but I wouldn't be able to settle for someone that I'm not enjoying, because at this age, I'm just looking for a companion. I'm looking for someone
grow with.
to say, like, let's go do this because we both love to do this. And financially, at this point, I wouldn't even have to choose to live with this person. I wouldn't have to.
Just have your boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yes, for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, breakfast.
And he
Breakfast
can go,
friends.
yes, and he can go back home. Or I would think someone at my age wants the same thing. Hopefully he owns already his house and he just moves me.
We're really narrowing it down, guys.
but financially, I would think it's a person that already has something going on.
That's also going to change a lot as you get older, or the situation you're in. I mean, if you're not going to have kids, Sana, obviously you're not going to have kids with this person, but
not even a pet.
But
nothing.
But you know, in Suplee's case, we're still thinking, this is someone I need to have a family with. I need to, you know, is he going to make a great father?
That's what
that's I think always one of the questions. You know, when it is will he live up to my standards when it comes to being a parent? I think that's a big one.
Do you see people your age settling, in your opinion, in your perspective, because of the age, like saying I got married?
I have to.
Yeah,
that's a hard question, because generally, at least with my very close friends, I don't think they settled. I think they all did very well. Their significant others are awesome. But I have some maybe not as close up friends, you know, acquaintances or just the general public. Yeah, I think there are some people that probably did settle just because they got to that time where they're like, oh no, this has to happen now
to be married.
Yeah.
With your closer friends, like your best friend, she was with her now husband since
high school.
Yeah, since high school. Okay, because I think that also changes things. You know, if you're with the same person since high school, then she never went through that struggle either.
No,
you know, she's been with her husband forever. You know,
we've actually talked about that too.
Yeah.
And she's like, if I knew anyone single, I'd set you up. And I'm like, it's okay.
Do people set you up?
Oh yeah, I've been definitely.
And I think I'm always mad. I always get so mad at Carlos because I am like, why don't you have friends that we can like set up? We have so many single friends.
I get mad at Carlos too. For that reason. Why don't you have guys friends
me out?
to set everybody out?
Like, can you go out there and just meet single guys?
Yeah. Home Depot or something.
Home Depot.
He's already at Home Depot. Just talk to guys and say, I need single male friends.
And this is the age category.
Yes. I need maybe like
we're gonna make our own app. We're gonna make our own dating app.
We should.
Genius idea.
All ages.
And Suplee, do you feel that because I hate to say the fear, but it is like this fear of being single. And I think that's what happens as you get older. You for some reason get this fear of, now I'm going to be single forever.
And define single. Single as you're
not in a relationship.
Not in a relationship, but you're dating.
You can be single and dating. Yeah, you can be single and
so
you
you're
can
not
have
alone.
You can have breakfast friends. You can have breakfast friends.
Meet you at McDonald's.
It's gonna be the senior citizens at McDonald's with the discount.
I'm okay. They get coffee for 25 cents. I'm there.
But do you feel that this fear of being alone or being single forever, or even not finding the quote unquote right guy is instilled in us as girls at a very young age?
I think so. definitely. I think because they put a lot of emphasis on, like having a 2-person household, or you see all your family members that are married and they keep asking you. So I think that fear is definitely real.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've hit it yet, but
You're so young.
I mean, the breakfast thing sounds pretty great. So
You can still watch my show.
do they pay though? No.
They should. They should.
They're getting the discounts.
I think we kind of do it to our children, whether we want to or not. I don't know if we're doing it to our boys as much as we're doing it to our girls, and maybe we are, and we just don't realize it. But I think as early as they can watch, as soon as they can watch Disney movies, I think we've ruined them.
It's that
for
love
life.
story.
Yeah, it's that love story, and you're gonna find the man of your dreams, and you're gonna get married, because they almost always do in these cartoons.
Yeah.
And you're
You
gonna
don't
get
have to.
married. Yeah.
It's in the contract.
Yeah.
and it ends with, and you lived happily ever after. And we almost never explain that that's not the way it works, that there is the beginning of that chapter, which is maybe going to be marriage, and then there's that end of the chapter, which is hopefully going to be death and not divorce. But then there's also
sometimes divorce. That's fine, people. It's okay.
but there's also all the chapters in between that are not necessarily always happy chapters, but no one ever wants to talk about. But how do we not do that?
I don't know. That's the hard
Yeah.
part. I'm a huge fan of Disney movies. I love them all.
Yes,
I don't know if
you love Disney.
You don't
I
let
do.
your kids watch
I
Disney.
mean,
And there was somebody, and I can't remember who right now. I want to say maybe Jessica, but I'm not really sure. There was somebody that had said that they were not going to allow their kids to
I
watch
don't remember who it was either, but I do
these
remember this
Disney
conversation.
movies
And
until they got older.
And growing up, we watched them, and I don't remember feeling a certain way. And I probably have a little different outlook on life, but I don't think of that happily ever after that you're saying. But now looking back, it probably could harm, the vision that some kids have.
And I did let both my kids watch these Disney movies, and I'm sure in some way it does. And I mean, come on, you got to think when they play house. When they play house, it's always a mom and a dad. It's always a husband and a
Maybe
wife.
not in my kids then, because they're super bitter when they watch these movies. My son will be like, that ain't gonna happen, right? Like,
And then that's the other extreme. Yeah,
Yeah.
because my son, and I hate that I'm saying this, but my
He's
son
super
cried at Cinderella. With Cinderella, he cried every single time.
No, they cry like if the mom dies or the lion or somebody.
Bambi.
But the whole marrying thing, I don't know. I never remember thinking that's life. Because I didn't grow up
we
with
were
that
also
life.
raised with a very bitter single woman.
Yeah, but my norm, I don't know if yours was. My norm wasn't mom and dad. And I don't know if my kids' norms are going to be mom and dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Our norm wasn't mom and dad, but I do remember,
norm.
at a very young age. I remember maybe by like 13, I was like, yeah, I'm for sure going to have a husband.
But out of 3, only you were the one that thought that.
True.
Because me and my younger sister were like, this ain't happening.
But now, growing up in a nuclear family, because we didn't,
that's one.
then do you feel that more? Do you feel all your sisters felt like, oh yeah, we're going to grow up and we're going to get married?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But it was never
Question.
I don't think it was a question, but I also don't think it was you have to. This has to be your life, or this is what the goal is. I don't know if we all felt that way. Yeah, we're going to get married, we'll do this, blah, blah. But I don't think, actually, when I was growing up, I really didn't want to get married. Now I'm older, I'm like, oh yeah, it'll be cool. But I don't think it was a set, like, this has to happen.
Yeah. And I think that we were very lucky in that part where we, I don't know how lucky, but because we had my mom, which was so bitter, and we've explained this before, she didn't believe in marriage, and she was always very anti-marriage. So I don't know that we ever felt like we had to get married.
Yeah.
And that was probably a very good thing. But my husband growing up in also a nuclear family, which was a very different nuclear family though, because my father-in-law had already been married and had already had a family once. This was his second marriage, his second family. But my husband told until this day, and we're living in 2019 until this day, finds it very hard to believe that a woman does not want to get married, and finds it very hard to believe that a woman does not want to have kids.
Do you feel that it's questioned by older people or by someone like your husband who's older thinking?
He has an old soul.
Yeah. As soon they start also asking, are you in a relationship? Are you with someone? Because they also feel that if you're not, it's because you're in the closet.
I think they do think that.
Because I know that I was asked that.
Oh,
I
don't know if I've ever
yeah.
asked that.
I think for my son, I think my mom, that
Asked
was
for
her
that
worry.
reason.
I think that was one of the reasons for asking, because it was always, do you have a girlfriend?
Not
It was never, are you in a
dating
relationship
someone
or are
or-
you dating?
Yeah.
It's just, it was always, do you have a girlfriend? Because my question was always like, have you met someone? You know? Because it could be
Keep it vague.
it could be anything. It could
Yeah.
be anyone. Well, not anything. And it could be anyone. But yeah, for my mom, it definitely was that. I don't know. I don't know if my husband feels that way. Maybe, but it's and now one of his sisters does have a baby. But before she had the baby, I remember telling him like, I don't think the girls. He also has twin sisters. I don't think the girls are gonna have kids. And he was like, what? Of course they're gonna have kids. And it's like, well, what if they don't want kids? Yeah, every girl wants kids. And it's like, we know two people.
Yeah,
Like, we know, my younger sister does not want to have kids, and she's made it very clear. And like my mom still thinks that one day she's gonna be like, she doesn't want to have kids, So yeah, maybe it is that, because I do find it really hard to believe that can happen. And I feel like if my kids, I think it will be sad if my kids don't want to have kids, just because I'm like your mom, I do want grandkids. But if they don't, I understand it.
Yeah.
I'd understand it.
And I think that's why it would be kind of easier for people who are single now. I feel, because it's like, it's more accepting that it could be so many reasons. You don't believe in marriage, you don't believe in having kids, you believe in dating a lot of people. There's so many different beliefs now.
So in that way it's easier.
Yes.
Because there's also so many different types of relationships. Like we were just talking about, like how you can have like an open relationship.
Yes.
Like that, I think would have still been so taboo even 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Where now it's
Normal.
yeah,
Kinda.
kind of anything goes.
Yeah.
Have you tried online dating?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And do you? I guess I know it's convenient, but what are the pros and cons? Like, what do you like about it? What do you hate about it?
So the main pro is, it's convenient, because besides work, I go to the gym, and I'm kind of like put my headphones in, don't talk to me type of person at the gym. So I don't really know where to meet people that way. So that's a good pro. It's convenient. You get to meet people you probably were never going to meet randomly.
Do you see people? Because I've never seen this.
You can see
So
the
do you
picture.
see pictures of,
Yeah,
of
you can
the
see
person?
pictures.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you can, to me, the pro, and I've been on one, it's like a couple. That you talk a lot. I feel. I do. Or maybe I just talk a lot, but
I don't know. I feel like for me, the con with that is I'm better in person than I am online.
Oh, really?
I feel like I'm a lot better in person. And so I'm more of a like, let's just meet up and hang out and see if it happens. If it doesn't, okay.
Yeah.
But some people are not like that. And so that's been the hardest part too, is just
Wow.
because some people want to make that conversation. But I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like I can
Like, just ask me out instead.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
can easily carry a conversation if we're even a blind date. I think it's no problem for me. But trying to hold a conversation up with someone on the phone that you don't know, that's really hard. Because what do you ask? Like,
everything.
oh.
So is this-
what your grandma did? What?
When you guys are on this app, is it like texting?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could call. The thing, I found it with a lot of guys that they feel that it's easier, because I've also known girls where they're like, I went out with a guy from online and he didn't talk, and like we had such great conversations online, and then he's in person and he doesn't talk.
And so then it's better to know right away, I feel.
Yeah, it's good to know right away. And the thing also online, I think a lot of people take their time to ask you out.
Yeah.
Because you're talking to a lot of people.
So then why not date a lot of people?
Because you don't, I don't want to get in everybody's car. And
I
I
don't
don't
know. Meet them. Don't.
Yeah.
No, and then
Drive
you have
yourself.
to
Never
meet them.
Yeah.
but then you already took 10 minutes of my life. Like,
But
this
that's
was 10
not how
minutes
I
I'm at
feel.
home.
I'm all about dating everybody that you meet
I
because
feel like dating
what's
was
the worst
great.
thing that's going to happen?
You
You
were
know, you
20.
lost, or you got a dinner out of the meal and you lost a couple hours. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Yes, I feel like dating should be the best part of being single.
It should be, but people are not. Everybody has different schedules. I feel like people are not always on the same
Hard.
schedule
That is
to
true.
meet up. What if you don't want to? What if you just want breakfast dates and he works from 7 in the morning to 7 at night?
He's more of a dinner person.
Dinner. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's too much. I don't
I
like to do that.
but we could keep talking and I might get convinced to do dinner, you know?
Mm.
I don't know. I find it convenient and I just think no one is really going out on 3 dates in a week with different people.
Mm.
I'd be down for it.
I
but
think
yeah.
people should, and that's when they have those speed dating things
I've
too.
always wanted to
Oh,
try
me too.
that.
Oh, that
I
sounds
wanna
like
try
so
that
much
too.
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, not for me because I'm married.
But you should just do it. And
You should
Carlos
go and then
too.
Carlos-
Yeah,
just don't call the person.
Yeah,
You match with. It's fine.
Carlos is like, forget it. I love this person I met. She's great.
But imagine, like in those 5 minutes, you do have to ask your most important questions, or you.
Yeah, and
What
you
is
do
the
it
break?
quickly.
What is the break or make question?
But
You
isn't?
cannot
But see,
lie.
I think that the part of dating is getting to know that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not knowing every single thing about that person in
No.
one date.
But in one date, you can get to know them. But it's also hard for people. I think that if you're not dating 3 times a week with different people, you go on a date and he wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best. And then you just keep him going.
Yeah, and
on.
so then you feel like
you don't know how to say
maybe
no
like-
to the second date.
Well, yeah, because then you feel like kind of like, well, maybe he was just really nervous
That
the first
one
date.
day.
So
Yeah.
we'll do something different. Maybe we'll go bowling or something
Yeah.
instead of dinner. A little
Yeah.
more fun activity.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll feel different, and it'll
Mm.
be. And then you get the second day, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, third time's a
Yes,
charm.
yes, yes.
And then 3 years
Usually,
later,
yeah,
Yes.
no,
Exactly.
three's my max. If it's not good by 3, I'm like, no.
yeah.
And then people have to get really comfortable with being able to say, yeah, this wasn't a match. Even though the
Yeah.
other person might tell you, oh, we're doing so good. This is such a great date. You have to be like, no, this isn't a match. And then I think that's where it comes to where people are lonely. And it's like, well, he thinks it's a good match.
So
then
it's, and
I
it's
should
all
be
right.
fine.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
Because don't they
he'll
even,
say
they
I
even
don't.
say that if you're dating someone and it's not a good match, you're supposed to match them up with someone else.
I would
Which would
love
be
to
totally
do that.
weird.
Oh, I don't know if I would do that.
I think that'd be so
I want to
weird.
match my ex-husbands with people. Like, I want to be like, let me choose your next one. I'm okay with that.
See, no, I would never survive. I would never survive in this online dating thing. I'm more like what you say, Suplee. I need to be there in person.
But even now,
I
imagine.
need to see your expressions. I need to see how you're reacting to my questions.
True.
I-
But
you
it's
could
also
just
really
Skype.
hard because there are some people that I know that are not photogenic either.
Oh,
And so then they
yeah.
post these pictures. Like, I don't know if I'm super photogenic. So then I post these pictures and then I'm like, well, are people not liking my profile just because of that? But like in person, I feel like I'm pretty cool.
Oh my gosh,
So
Right there,
And
that
is that
alone
a
would keep me
pressure?
from online dating because I'd never be able to find
No.
a
and,
picture to
but
post on
that's
there.
how I try to
You're
be with
whipping.
like some of the profiles too. Like, well, maybe not
Maybe
totally
he's
everything that I'm
better,
looking at, but maybe we could try.
Do you judge by the profile pic?
Not fully,
Okay.
And what's
but I am shallow, so I do a little bit. I will admit,
and what's more important, looks or personality?
personality.
Okay.
But I said already, I'm shallow, so they do that. Yeah, they have to still look good. But I would
Yeah.
say personality is a big thing because if I like your personality, I'll probably think you're cuter.
Oh,
I
But
think
you have to
everybody
start
should say
like
that.
But some people are like, no matter how good your personality is, you're
Well,
not
that's
gonna look
true.
any better.
very true. But I feel like you have to like have a good overall look for me to catch my eye, and then your personality is gonna make it the best,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. I think the personality
No, I think a personality can make an ugly
changes
person good
better looking.
Better looking, better
better
to
looking.
look at.
I think a good personality can make you cuter, but it cannot make an ugly person look good. Sorry,
Yeah.
that sounds a little shallow too. And my
I'm not
my
shallow.
husband's not like super hot, but I mean he's not bad. If you guys saw him in joggers, he looks really good.
And then everybody has a different perspective of what's good.
Yes,
looking
yes,
at.
that's
And then
very
we've also
true.
talked
And
about
priorities,
priorities. You
yeah,
know, priorities as to
Mhm.
what is. I can't imagine a good looking man to me that what I would think is good looking, and him being like not laughing at my jokes.
Mhm.
Or not cracking
Yeah.
a joke, or
Yeah.
not being sarcastic,
Yeah,
or
that's
not
true.
being like not knowing. Oh my god! Like I can't even imagine what the hell would he be talking about, or just listening to me. You know,
I
like
think. Oh, I think like
couldn't.
with my husband, like sometimes
couldn't.
he's funny and he's really funny, and I think like, man, he was funny, but he doesn't think I'm funny at all.
No.
and he doesn't talk too
I'm
much.
pretty funny.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we go out, we have fun.
Yeah.
I think we like a lot of the same things when it
Yes.
comes to having fun, and so that helps us a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Drinking is a priority
in both of our lives.
So
And
that
so
makes it a win-win. If you're not funny, you'll become funny in about an hour.
Good
And we
point.
drink the same thing, so it kind of helps out.
Yes,
You know, that we
yes.
only have to buy one thing and not have to buy two.
Exactly.
It works out. It works out.
If alcohol's involved, you
You're good.
got it. But it is hard. Do you? My last question. Do you think the one exists? The one for you?
Oh, so I don't believe in soulmates
Okay.
or like the love of your life,
Uh-huh.
but I do believe there is a one that you are supposed to be with.
Yes.
The
Yes.
one that is going to be comes into your life at the right moment, the right situation. I don't believe in soulmates. I don't think there is one person that is made for you.
Yeah.
But I believe that in that time of your life, you'll find the one that will be there with you.
So the one for you.
The one for
Okay.
me. Yeah.
And do you think now going into that? I know. Sorry, we're gonna end it. But do you think that you will know when you meet that person?
I don't know. I don't know because a lot of my friends are like, "You'll know when you know," and I'm like, "No." So I don't know if I will know. I am a constantly anxious and questioning person, so I probably will be like, "Well, do I really know, or is this just like my hormone thing?
Yeah.
Am I really feeling it,
Yeah.
or So I'm not sure.
I think, but because of that, I have that same thing where kind of, I think that's part of our cynic side,
Yeah.
and I think, 15 years later, I still sometimes ask, is it really? Is he?
Is he the
Is
one?
he the one, or did I overlook something?
Yeah.
So that's, I think, something that happens. You just kind of question it, how did I know? Did I truly know?
Yeah,
What if I was
exactly.
wrong? And that's just,
I mean, I do that with everything. Like, I buy shoes, and 2 days later, I'm like, was that the pair that I wanted?
Yeah.
So I can imagine I'll probably be the same way.
But then you've owned those shoes for quite a while, and if you
And they work.
if you
It
look
worked out.
and if you look back, you think I knew all along.
Mhm.
I knew all along that
Yeah.
this is the shoe.
And I think
should
you
And I think in retrospect, I probably will know, in 50 years, I'll be like, oh, I was right.
Yeah, I was
but
right.
I think, will I have
I
that feeling of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
See,
sure.
and I do believe in soulmates. I just feel that you do not end up with your soulmate. You will never be with your soulmate. It's just kind of the way it is, kind of the way the world works. I do believe in finding the one for you, the one that you're supposed to be with. And I've said
Yeah.
this before. I do feel that my husband is the person I'm supposed to be with.
Mhm.
But I do not believe in love at first sight.
No.
Even
No.
with your children, I'm sorry,
No.
moms out there that were like, I
No.
saw the first time I looked. No,
No.
it lived in your body for 9 months. That's
Yeah.
why you're in love with it, But
Well, love is an emotion. The same way you don't feel sad instantly.
yeah.
You have
yeah.
to kind of build up to
Yeah,
it.
so I don't know that I can
Anger.
meet someone and look
And
him in
know
the
right
eye
away.
and be like, he's the one.
But I think
Yeah,
that's
I mean, I might be
chemistry.
like, oh, wow, you're really cool, and this
Yeah.
could really work.
Yes,
But
yes.
I don't know if I'd look at someone and be like, yeah, you're it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
definitely
When I think
it.
you're looking for chemistry, you're trying to see
Mhm,
do we fit?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always said that too. I mean, you
Yeah.
can be the one for me, you can be the one I'm supposed to be spending my whole life with, but we can't do this without chemistry.
Yeah, like if
We
you don't
can't
feel
do this
it.
without you being attracted to me and me being attracted to you.
So in the end, what's the hardest thing about being single at this age?
Mhm.
Is there something that's hard? for
Or
you?
is it okay? Is it okay? Are you going to say, like, ask me in 10 years?
Maybe ask me in 10 years. I don't know. Right now, I mean, it is a struggle in the sense that, it's not as easy as when, we were in college or even a couple years ago, but I don't know if I'm upset with it.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm upset with it. I think I'm still okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
which is
So,
good.
I mean, I think it's hard because we're busy and, got a lot of other stuff going on in my life besides, trying to date.
Yeah.
So that would be hard, but I don't know if I say I don't know if it's keeping me down. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I think the hardest part from the outside looking in is other people.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Because people
Yeah.
think you're not happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other people being okay with you being okay with
Yeah.
it. You know, and
That is very
and
true.
don't get me wrong, there's people out there that are not okay with it, and that's okay too.
Mhm.
They're wanting to be there already. I need to be there. I need to be married. I need to have kids, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
And so then maybe if you were single, we should be sad.
And I don't see that okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you in a hurry?
Yeah, and maybe if they were single, we should be sad. But if someone's okay with being single, I think we need to learn how to be okay with it, with them.
That's a great point, because if I took a step back and it was just me, I'm totally fine right now. I love where my life is at. I'm very happy. But then you have all those pressures or the questions that I
You
don't
have
like
the
getting
questions.
asked.
Yes.
You know, every time you're at a family dinner
But
and
it's
you're
hard
like,
not to ask. I think
no, it's true, because I've definitely asked friends as well.
Mhm.
You know, that's just a typical question. But yeah, I think if we took that aside, it would be
It would be
okay.
fine.
Yeah.
It'd be fine. And I think more people get pressured
to date.
to date or to feel pressure to date because of other people.
And it should be like, oh, I should be in a relationship. I
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah,
having
it makes you
kids.
think that. It makes you think
what's
like,
wrong
oh, yeah,
with
should
me,
I be in a
you know?
relationship?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of start to think like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong? But when really it's nothing. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just how they're
That's how it
perceiving
is.
your life.
Yeah.
A lot of people in my life consider me the parent of an only child. You know, it's my because my son is grown. It's always like, oh, well, you only have your daughter. You only have your daughter, and I think that was what I would compare it to. I knew right away that I didn't want to have any more children, and I said, give me a couple of years, and if you change, you know, if you can change my mind, then maybe I'll have more kids. And it didn't work out that way, and I didn't want to have any more kids. And I don't know if it's because most people knew that my husband did, but that was it, making people okay, people close to me, okay, and strangers at that, okay with the fact that I didn't want to have multiple children was just such a hard thing, because everyone was constantly like, so you're gonna have more kids? I told you I wasn't gonna have any more kids. Why are you still asking me this?
I think maybe because of your husband, or knowing that he wanted more kids. I don't know.
I think
my
people
mom never
ask me-
asked us.
Well, my mom asked me.
Oh, she did.
Yeah,
Well, she
after
was
I got
perfectly
married.
fine with me.
Yeah.
never having kids.
I think after I had John and I was single, I didn't have a significant other, and people would ask me like, do you want to have more kids? No, should I worry about the first thing first? You know, like I think it becomes this pressure of other people pressuring you, of other people being uncomfortable with your comfort.
Yeah.
You know, with your comfort level.
I think
They
it's
can never,
that.
they
I
can
think
never
I
be
think
okay.
definitely that.
Like just be okay with how okay I am.
Yeah.
You know,
And
is the way
okay
I
with
see it.
whatever situation you're in.
Yeah, and it
Like,
doesn't make it right
yeah.
or wrong. It's
Yeah.
your
Not right.
situation,
Yeah.
your life. But yeah, I think people put that pressure on you.
Or especially, I feel like more if you are in a circle where everybody has somebody, and then I feel that they feel like, well, we should get you someone, because now you're gonna feel awkward. But if the person tells you they're perfectly fine, they're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Usually, you know,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are actually more comfortable by themselves
Most
than
of the time.
with somebody else.
Yeah,
Than
and
with the
I'm
wrong person.
perfectly fine. I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my life. I mean, in fifth wheel situations, I put that pressure on myself. But yeah, no.
and you'll be fine. Like, you're fine when it comes. It comes.
Yes.
And
And I do
That's
also
good.
truly believe that when it comes, it will come.
yeah.
You know, you won't know it. You don't have to plan it. It'll just get there.
I think so. And the older you get, you realize that. But I think when you're young, it is.
You feel like it's never gonna get
never
there.
gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
being on
you.
our
Thank
show.
you for having me.
We enjoyed having you, and hopefully you enjoyed, being here.
Yeah.
And
It was good.
we want to remind everyone, don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at Sisters with a Y, and we are also on Twitter at
Yeah.
Sisters with a Y. And we're going to go ahead and end this with a quote. The pain of marrying the wrong person is worse than your present fear of not getting married before 30. All right. Question you soon.